Hi there. Today I am doing a sort of tutorial. I don't really want to call this a tutorial because actually I am not an expert on jewelry making or doing anything with beads, but I did want to share some of the things I've learned through trial and error. I love making bead dangles. I really find it to be really relaxing. They can be used, you can put bead dangles on different size paper clips to use as altered paper clips like these. I have altered paper clips here where I've just hung a bead dangle on them. You can use them on the backs of your books. You can attach them and make dangles that way. You can make really what are called chunky charms, not to be confused with Lucky Charms, but chunky charm, things like this. I made one for another journal recently. And there's some things that I learned through trial and error. One of the first things I did when I first started making these, this is actually takes you back to my first attempt. This is my small chunky journal, and there is a video flip through of this whole thing if you would like to see it on my channel. But one of the things I've learned, can you see how that is curved? The problem I did when I first started doing this was I simply used wire. I didn't use any like professional things. I just found a huge thing of wire and started making my own with wire. These are all leftover beads that I had from a variety of different necklaces. And I use that, and then, believe it or not, what I have on the ends here, these are actually sequins that I had left over. So this was really just using up some old things that I had. But what I found was when I put these in my books, the wire tended to bend. So I ended up with all these curved beads. Somewhere along the line, I found out about things like getting professional beading things. I found these, and you can get them in a variety of different styles. They still bend a little bit. Can you see that that's a little bit bent? They do still bend a little, but I find that these are a lot more sturdy than just using some wire. I like using these to make my beads. What I want to do today is just make a couple of beads real quickly for you, show you kind of my process that I have. Then you could attempt to do the same thing. Let me see, I'm trying to remember which, oh, I opened these at this end. So I'm going to open up a couple of boxes of beads, and there are clear beads and there are colored beads. I got these, where did I get these? Oh, was it Hobby Lobby or Michael's? Anyway, I got these somewhere. And so the two things I highly recommend you have is a pair of needle nose pliers and then a pair of round nosed pliers. These are going to be critical for bending your wires, and these are critical for holding it because you really need two hands in order to do this. And that can be really hard. Now, one of the things that I do like to do is I love to mix things up. So I will grab a couple of things. Also, I'm just going to make some really small beads today that could be used as dangles on just some paper clips, and show you that process real quick. So I don't spend a lot of time thinking about what I'm going to do. I just start grabbing beads, and I figure, you know what? In the end, it's going to look awesome. And so it just is a little process like that. I like this pink one. I'm going to throw that one on there. I think I'm going to actually use one of these. Again, like I said, I'm not an expert. I have no idea even what these things are called. They're kind of a spacer. And I'm going to throw that pink one down. We're going to throw another spacer on the top. Like that. Let's see, I used one of these small glass beads. And let's throw another colored bead. I don't always make them match either. Oh, here's one here. This one's actually almost a white one. So now I've got my bead, another small bead, a spacer, decorative stuff. So now I'm done with this. Let's take this and finish it off. I'm going to go ahead and clip this so I don't have a ton of wound stuff. And then I am going to simply hold this in one hand and start wrapping it around this to finish it. Now, I've got a little bit of extra in there, and that's okay. I'm just going to keep winding this until it's tight because I don't want my beads to come undone. Oops, going the wrong way now. Told you I'm not an expert on this. Now, I've got this really tight so my beads don't wiggle. I tend to like to have this more finished end on the end. I'm going to just set that down. I'm going to come over here and grab a loop. The trick to these, and this is why you need two hands, the trick to these is to actually, you don't want to pull them apart, that weakens them. You just want to simply twist them a little bit. I like to use this part that's kind of not so pretty because I can hide it with the paper clip. And then I just twist that back, and now it's all twisted back together. And I'm going to put this on a paper clip. Let's see, let's just grab a large paper clip here. One of the things I didn't realize when I bought these paper clips was that they are coated. There's a vinyl coating over these, and I didn't realize they were coated. So what happens is they get really funky when you twist them. But I always like adding, oops, wrong thing. I always like adding a little twist on the end that just gives this a really nice finished edge. I just take it, sorry about that, didn't mean to give you motion sickness there, and I go ahead and make a nice loop. I've seen a lot of people do this, and it just is a nice finished end. I've also seen people do the finished loop on that, and now you have a real pretty bead dangle and an altered paper clip. Or like I said, you could use these again to just put them on any of your, to make charms, to do things like that. Now, one of the things I do like to do is to actually put two charms on. If you're going to put a big charm on, it's nice to put a smaller charm. I've seen some people just grab, for example, maybe a small key that you could use. I think for this one, I'm actually going to make a second bead, but I'm going to make it out of smaller beads. I want to just do it out of something really small. So I just have a very small one that would be kind of more of an accent. I have a variety of little tiny beads here that I could do. Let's see if we can find another small one in here. Oh no, let's do a small one out of, nope, these are smaller. I'm going to do a small one out of here maybe. And instead of it being the big accent bead, we're going to just do a real small one. Saw this done where someone had combined a variety of different sizes. I was originally doing them all the same size, and what I've found is that I like them better all different sizes. It just gives a better variety. Give yourself about a thumb's width to twist and just clip that off. Twist that all the way down. Keep twisting it. If you have to cut some off, that's okay. I just may cut that little extra piece off like that. And then again, just using another one of these, you can find these all kinds of places. I get mine actually at Walmart. I'm going to just grab this little tiny one because this is a much smaller bead. Again, remember you're going to twist. And I highly recommend, see how these are not spring-loaded, where this one is. So I just have to squeeze it. Much easier on the hand. I'm going to simply put this, and part of the reason why you want to put this on here is so that it hangs better. If you just hung it from the loop that I made, it would not hang as well. But we want it to hang really nice and to dangle freely. That's why we want to put this second loop on it. So now it's done like that. And I've already tied that corner, but I haven't done this one. This may just be easier done with my finger. I'm going to go the other direction on this paper clip. And just hang it like that. Now there's two pretty little dangles together. And you can see that those are just really pretty together. That makes a really, really nice altered paper clip. You could go ahead and add one more piece, maybe a key, because 3's odd numbers are always more pleasing, which I may go back and do. But for right now, I'm really happy with what I have here. So I hope you enjoyed this pseudo tutorial on how to make altered paper clips, beaded altered paper clips, and I hope I've encouraged you to craft today.